in her time as the pillar of women. This is a totally true story. Absolutely true. This is the story of Razia Burdan Sultana, the most remarkable woman that you've never heard of. Empress of India has a lot of action talk until she stood victorious over his body. Empress of India has a lot of political intrigue. In order to even get to the throne, she had to outmaneuver her brothers, who had a stronger claim. And once in the throne, she wasn't content merely to be the only woman ever to rule as a sultan, and the first woman ever to rule India. She wanted to reform it. She threw away the caste system. She promoted people on merit. She opposed corruption. She provided for the poor. And for all these things that she did, she made new enemies who plotted to overthrow her. But Empress of India also has romance. Because she was a woman, it would be expected that if she were to marry, that she would have to defer to her husband in all things, and she wouldn't be allowed to rule India anymore. So she had to keep secret her affair, her illicit affair, with an Ethiopian former slave who had been promoted to a nobleman within the court. She also had to spurn the advances of her best friend since childhood, who loved her desperately and wanted nothing more than to be her husband. And when the people who plotted against her finally managed to overthrow her, and they threw her into the impenetrable prison of Tabar Hinda, she seduced her jailer, and together they raised a new army so that she might seek to retake her throne. Empress of India, I think, is a compelling story, an engaging story. I think it has a lot to offer. I think it's an important story. I think it really should be told. And I hope you'll read it, and I'm sure that if you do, you'll like it. So, thank you.
Thank you. How many minutes?
3:23.
Wow, done.
Awesome.
Good job. Okay, sorry. What?
How do we want to do it since we've started at both ends?
You
We start in the middle?
The drama and the landscape of the events that you have very articulately described,
Okay.
but with no sense of the passion of the time, of the circumstance of this woman. I did not get to know her. I got to barely know her name
Okay.
and understand that she was important, but really I have no sense of her.
Okay.
I don't feel Cleopatra
Right.
Woodley about her. She sounds like she's fierce and awesome. So I think the most important part of the pitch is to create a dramatic feature film kind of sensibility around it. The romance, set it as though it were Lawrence of Arabia meets Gandhi. I mean, however you, I don't know how to say it.
Use that.
Right.
But you know, however you see that happening, give us a sense of texture. Is this going to be filmed in India as a period piece, and you know how you know, is this a Mumbai production? I don't have a sense of the nature of involving it because I was so caught up.
I understand. Wouldn't that be determined by who I was pitching to? Wouldn't people I'd be pitching to?
Well, no, I mean,
Or Mumbai?
do you need to make it in India? Is this a
Okay.
film? I don't have a sense of whether you can create the drama, because there is none. I mean, I don't know if there's elephant charges and tigers being shot, and, you know, I just see her with a
Okay.
scimitar, sort of, you know, and I get that, but we can do that on a soundstage.
All right.
So I don't have the sense of how you're mounting it or framing it, and it was very clinical.
Okay.
It felt very documentary-ish in a sense of time and place and person, and then again, time. Was she ever in love? Did she have children? Did she?
She didn't have children. She was in love. She had this affair with
An affair. I heard an affair.
Well, it was an affair because she couldn't get married.
Huh?
It was an affair because she couldn't get married.
That unrequited love is not an affair. I mean,
Well, it was-
Romeo and Juliet.
It was requited often. It just it was consummated, and it was a secret love affair. But no, she did not have.
Yeah, I mean, but it spanned 20 years, and I mean, is there a
Okay.
story there where he has an affair and he's 2 minutes of screen time, or is it a recurring theme?
No, I'm sorry. You're right. That's
That's
what's
what
going.
I'm driving at. The idea that you need, I think, to go back to the sense of what a film offers the audience. It offers the opportunity to invest in characters that are bigger than life, that tell a story in a way that is the vision of you, the writer, and the vision of the director. Otherwise, we can read the book.
Right.
We can become young. And so more than anything, I think, should impart that vision you have of those characters into the pitch, make it come to life. You certainly discovered a remarkably, I think, dramatic character that's worthy of cinema. It's now bringing her to life. On the big screen, coming soon.
Right. Great, thanks.
We don't have anything else. No, I'm just kidding. Mark, let me say, I think this is a great example, yet again, kind of like put the trees in, don't put the trees in.
Right.
I really liked your pitch, and I'm half Indian.
Oh.
And I had never heard about this woman. So I would have looked her up on Wikipedia right now, but I had not heard about her. So for me, this is a gem in the spirit of epic historic fiction that I think could be timely, because we have become, as this festival has, a little enchanted with India. Finally, I'm 44. People are interested in half of my culture. I think you started out showing personality by saying your name the way you did, which was fun. But you do seem a little like nervous.
Okay.
I know you're nervous. I mean, of course, you're human. How are you not nervous? But part of it is, I think you really believe in this character, do you? Do you
Yes.
believe she's
Oh,
a
yeah.
gem?
Yeah, no, I think this is a great movie. It really should be made.
I sense that from you, and some of the, I liked the way you actually said, it's a political story, it's a romantic story, you kind of broke it down to us that way, and I actually really liked that. I'm a PhD, maybe it's...
Yeah,
maybe
well,
it's- But I do feel like you need to not hold back, Mark,
Okay.
okay? Go for it, like, that's what I felt, like you're passionate, you love this character, you found this gem, I mean, you really did, it's like you struck gold. And now you need to not hold back on it. If you feel passionately about her, about this project, it needs to be made. You know, it took Spielberg 10 years to make, what's wrong with me? Schindler's List. But because he never ever gave up on it, but he was passionate about it. But a man as powerful as him, it took 10 years. To get a film made, you have to set the world on fire.
Okay.
Okay, you have to. And you have to be willing to do that. So I'm just saying, I'm encouraging you to go for that.
I appreciate it.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Dude, go for it, man. And I love it, and I want to see this film.
Okay,
Okay,
great.
good.
That's two.
I agree 50% equally with both. But 50 from one and 50 from the other. I think it needs to be, the pitch needs to be epic. It's
Yes.
an epic story, like that big. But I also agree with Paul. I mean, if you're pitching somebody who's visual and you want to hear the movie, you want to hear the story. What I heard was fact, 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 fact. What I want to hear was story, 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 climax. What is her, what drives the characters and that kind of thing. More epicness, and they touched on something Lawrence of Arabia meets.
Joan of Arc?
Well, I wrote down Joan of Arc
Mulan.
Okay.
because it was a woman. Like I would say Lawrence of Arabia